Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's Scotty in the 5-Point Demo Kitchen. Today, in our Now You Know series, we're going to talk about filtering on the Henny Penny forehead pressure fryer. We're going to talk about why you should be filtering, how to perform a filter cycle, and when you should be doing this throughout the day. So without further ado, let's jump in. All right. So what is filtering and why should you be doing it? While the forehead cooks delicious chicken you find at famous restaurant chains, it also accumulates a lot of crumb and debris from cooking all of that food. What happens to that debris is it continues to sit in hot oil and begins to scorch, almost like a marshmallow over an open flame. And what happens to the oil is it becomes darker, less flavorful, and you get less time using it between disposes. Luckily, with filtering, we're able to remove a lot of that crumb and debris through our drain pan and filter, which returns the oil to a clean flavor profile, aka the sweet spot, and allows for more usage between disposes, which will ultimately lead to less oil consumption. How do you run a filter? Let me show you. First things first, let's open the door and talk valves. We have our drain valve on the left, our return valve in the middle, and on the right is bulk dispose. Also, don't forget about the wing nut, which needs to remain securely tightened. To start, turn the control panel to the off position. Then, go ahead and turn the return valve to the open position. Next, we're going to turn our drain handle about a quarter turn to prevent any splashback on top of the lid. After a few seconds, go ahead and turn it to the full open position. Oil will begin draining into the drain pan where it's going to run through the filter assembly. Go back to the control panel and cut the pump to the on position. While oil is lightly bubbling at the bottom of the vat, go ahead and take your gong brush, Henny Penny part number 12116, and clean the debris sitting at the bottom of the vat. Oh boy, now we're getting somewhere. That's looking good. Once you've cleaned all that sitting debris, go ahead and turn the drain valve to the closed position. This is going to allow oil to begin pumping back into the vat. You may not be as excited to watch oil fill as me, so we went and cut ahead a few scenes. Look at that gorgeous jacuzzi of deliciousness. Once there is a rolling bubble at the top of the vat, go ahead and cut the pump to the off position. Then, close your return valve so oil doesn't slowly drip back into the drain pan. Ah, that's looking good now. After closing the door, go ahead and turn the control panel to the on position. After a few seconds, it's going to ask you if the pot is filled with oil. Simply click number 1 for yes. The more you filter, the longer your oil life is going to be, but it's not always possible in a busy operation to just stop and filter. So when should you be doing this? Well, we recommend first thing in the morning when the fryer has heated to temperature, again after your initial rush, typically lunchtime, then before and after your second rush or around dinner time. Luckily, it only takes a few minutes to perform a filter cycle, so if you get any spare time throughout the day, you can go ahead and drop the oil, perform your filter, and reset to a nice baseline before you start cooking again. If you're someone with a Computron 8000 control panel, you may have a preset number of cooks programmed into the unit before it asks you to filter. As I mentioned, it only takes a few minutes, so if you find time, go ahead and perform a filter and reset that number back to the maximum number of cooks. There we go, and now you know how to filter and when to filter on your Henny Penny forehead pressure fryer. By filtering, you're extending that oil life and getting the best tasting food possible. If you have any questions about anything filtering, make sure to post them in the comments section below. And stay tuned for our next video about all things programming on the 4-head pressure fryer. Also, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new updates on our Now You Know series. Thank you again. I'm Scotty. I'll see you later.